Okay, so yesterday we focused on 2-digit by 1-digit division. All right, today we're just going to make it a little bit harder, do 3-digit by 1-digit division. We're still going to be working on that standard algorithm so that as we make those T-charts, we don't need to make them 10 times larger or 100 times larger. All right, so take these notes with me so that you have them. So as you're working on your problems today, it makes it a little bit easier. Okay. So the first example, we're going to do 3 together, that we're going to do is 186 divided by 6. All right, so the first thing that tells me is since we're dividing it by 6, I need to make a 6 T-chart. All right, so now I'm ready to divide. So today, since we're using our standard algorithm, I'm going to write my 6 on the outside of my division bar, and then I'm going to write 186, but I'm going to split up all of my digits like this, okay? Split them all up so that as I'm working on it, I'm only doing an easy problem at a time, okay? So now I'm going to look for, can I find a 1 as one of my multiples of 6? And I can't. So you do 0 and 0. You subtract and get 1. Bring your 1 over here. So now I have 18. So now I'm going to look for 18 divided by 6. So I'm going to look for 18 in my T-chart. And when I look down my list, there's my 18. The 3 goes up above, and I subtract 18. And I get 0. So I drag my 0 over. So now I'm going to look for 6 in my chart. There it is. 1 goes up, and I subtract 6. And I get 0. So instead, before we were adding these together, this just becomes my answer. So my answer on this one is 31. It's a lot faster than making our T-chart 10 times and 100 times larger. This is a faster way. This is the standard algorithm. Now your parents, if you show them you're moving over to the right like this, it might be a little bit confusing because when they did it, they moved down their page instead of over to the right, but it's the same exact steps. Tell them. All right. So for our next example, we're going to do 192 divided by 4. So I'm going to make a 4's T-chart. Four, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36. All right, so I'm going to draw my 4, and then under my division bar, number 192, but I'm spreading out those numbers, and then I'm going to split up those digits. So now, I'm just going to look for a 1 as a multiple, and my smallest multiple is 4, so I'm going to start with 0 and 0. Okay, so then you bring your 1 over in front, you put it in your tens place. So in front, now I'm going to look for 19. 20 is too much, so I've got to back up and use my 16. So the 4 goes up here as part of your answer. Minus 16, you get 3. So I slide my 3 over into my tens place. Now I look for 32. Yep, that is a multiple. So you put 8 up top, minus 32, and that's my answer, 48. All right, one more. We're going to do 184 divided by 8. All right, so I'm going to make an 8's T-chart. I'm going to list my multiples all the way through 9 times 8. And guys, the more you practice these T-charts, you will learn your multiples, and eventually you won't have to count your dots. Okay? I promise. By the end of division, most of my kiddos, they can make their T-charts really fast. So just keep practicing. You will get better. Alright. So I'm dividing by 8. So I'm going to put 184 under the division bar, split up my digits. So 1, I'm looking for the multiple of 8 that is equal to 1, and they're all bigger than that. So you're going to put 0, 0. And it seems like all of ours lately, we've done the 0, 0, but you won't have to always. Like if this digit would have been a 9, then I could have used 1, 8 on it. Okay, but just lately, I feel like we've been doing a lot of 0, 0s, but that's okay. Alright, so now I'm going to look for 18. So 16 is the closest. So 2 goes on top as part of your answer. And we're going to subtract 16, which means we're left with 2. So I'm going to slide my 2 over here into the tens place. So now I'm going to look for 24. There's 24, so 3 is part of my answer. Minus 24. Alright, so 23 would be my answer on this one. So today, as you are working, I really don't think you should get any remainders on these, okay? So I gave you all questions without remainders today. So make sure on your work today, you're going to work it on some notebook paper and then type in your answer. And all of your answers, there's a bingo board, all of your answers, you should be able to find them on the bingo board or you did something wrong. So that's a good way to kind of check yourself. So make sure you're using this strategy and practicing it. It is a lot faster, and I want y'all to get really good at that for me.